Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of Mindset Unlimited, mindset tips, tools, and inspiration for women in a time of change. I'm your host, Valerie Friedlander, ICF certified coach, sociologist, intersectional feminist, artist, mom, and nerd. And today, we are talking about 5 steps to shift habits of perfectionism and people-pleasing. If you are someone who has struggled with these habits, perhaps under the umbrella of codependent behaviors, I want you to know that you are not alone. I have definitely been there, and these are things that I wish that I had known back when I started. I also want to recognize that when you have a lot of self-awareness, without these tools, we tend to get stuck in our heads and try and think our way out of it and end up beating ourselves up for doing these things. Oh, I shouldn't try and be perfectionist. I should let that go. I shouldn't be people-pleasing. I should have said no. What's wrong with me? Blah, blah, blah. We're really rough on ourselves. And so first, know that this is very common. You are not alone, and there's nothing wrong with you. These patterns are survival strategies. They're rooted in patterns of emotional outsourcing that we learn early in life as a survival mechanism. And we're not taught how to regulate our nervous system, which is where these patterns are embedded. And so, we get stuck in our head around it. So to address this and bring it into the body, I have invited Beatriz Victoria Albina to join me in this conversation. She has a new book coming out on September 30th, so you can pre-order that now. There is a link in the show notes. Bea is a UCSF-trained family nurse practitioner, somatic experiencing practitioner, master certified somatic life coach, and the author of the forthcoming End Emotional Outsourcing, a guide to overcoming codependent, perfectionist, and people-pleasing habits. She's also a breathwork meditation guide with a passion for helping humans socialized as women to reconnect with their bodies, regulate their nervous systems, and rewire their minds so they can break free from codependency, perfectionism, and people-pleasing and reclaim their joy. She is also the host of the Feminist Wellness Podcast, holds a master's degree in public health from Boston University School of Public Health, and a bachelor's in Latin American Studies from Oberlin College, my alma mater. She was born in Mar del Plata, Argentina. Bea grew up in the great state of Rhode Island. She has been working in health and wellness for over 20 years and lives with her wife, Beatriz Albina, and their handsome, all-black cat, Wade. I had so much fun with this conversation. I am thrilled to share it with you. I know you're going to see how much fun we had together. In this episode, you will learn why perfectionism, people-pleasing, and codependency are rooted in emotional outsourcing and how that impacts your sense of safety, belonging, and worth, the difference between unhealthy empathy and healthy, grounded empathy, and why empathy isn't the issue is boundaries, hint, hint, somatic practices, and the brave process for shifting perfectionist and people-pleasing habits in everyday life, and how to build self-trust and regulate stress in small, sustainable steps that support healthier, more independent relationships. Before we get started, I do want to acknowledge one of the things in this episode we celebrate is that we were able to survive and that we built these skill sets that supported us in making it through the dynamics in our life. And something that we didn't mention that I want to do that here, which is just because we had to be strong and build these skills that aren't serving us anymore, but that we had to survive, and they are worth celebrating, it is also totally understandable and important to grieve that we had to do it. Because just because we did it and we're badasses doesn't mean that it isn't sad that we had to, that there isn't an emotional charge around having to do that. So I just want to acknowledge that here. The other thing that I want to let you know is that I have recently set up a SpeakPipe, which will be linked in the show notes, which basically is like a little voice messenger where you can click on the link, click on the microphone button and record a 90-second little message to me. So as I mention every episode, I love to hear from you. So if there is a celebration, an insight, a question, or a topic request for the podcast, please click that link, click the button. It's super simple, and send me a note. I would love to hear from you, and you can do it anonymously. Okay, now, without further ado, let's get started. Welcome, Bae. I'm so excited to have you on Mindset Unlimited.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yay. This is a real pleasure to meet a fellow OB.
Yay.
So, yeah. Anyway,
It's
I'm
special.
looking forward to this. Yeah, it is. It is. We are such a tight community. I mean, there's like the whole OBs marry OBs thing, which I have fallen into as well. But we have a vibe.
Yeah, we really do.
Vibe.
It's pretty magical.
It is. So that's a little sampling of you, but tell us a little bit about who you are.
Oh, yeah. So now my mind's only thinking Oberlin, where I played rugby, was in a food co-op. I did like the most traditionally weird Oberlin things back in the day. But okay, it's been 20 years, woman. Have an identity.
I mean, we have formative things, and I feel like
Oberlin was it.
Oberlin was definitely one of them for me.
Oof, so good. So good. Listen, what do I do now? Okay, so I am a holistic nurse practitioner of the science-based branch, not the snake oil-based branch. A delineation I didn't have to say out loud just 1 year ago. But now I think it's so important to be like, I don't think you all have parasites and you don't have to detox them under the full moon. Like, I love witchcraft, but that's a bit much. Okay, so I'm a functional medicine holistic nurse practitioner. I have a master's degree in public health because OBs are nerds. I am a master certified somatic life coach, and I am a podcast called Feminist Wellness and the author of this new book, And Emotional Outsourcing: How to Overcome Your Codependent, Perfectionist, and People-Pleasing Habits, that hits the shelves September 30th, and I am so excited about it.
Oh, yes. Well, I can't wait to talk about it because so much of it hits on so many things. The people who are listening are going to be like, "Oh, wow, yes, this is definitely my kind of book." So,
Yay.
And you gave away the nerd thing. That's one of the ways I introduce myself is and nerd, and there you go. Now everybody knows.
Everybody knows. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say people flock to the both of us because nerd.
Yes, I think so.
Because nerd is best. What is better than nerd?
I truly don't know. Okay, so my next question is, what is a limit that you took for granted that you have since unlearned? I think the labeling around nerd as a kid is definitely one of mine, but what about you?
Yeah, gosh, what is a limit I took for granted? This question is actually really challenging for me. And I think part of it is because I have this magnificent ADHD brain. Here I am tagging like 3 minutes in. But I do have this brain that like decides it's going to do a thing and just does it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Right. When it's like, that's ridiculous. No one can do that. Why would you do that? What do you mean you're going to quit medicine and become a life coach? That's dumb. Like the number of people who said that. And my brain is just like, it doesn't see the limitations in a way, right? Which gets me in a lot of trouble, let me tell you what, right? Because I leap before looking fully. I'm like halfway down the canyon before I was like, wait, should I have a parachute? Well, we're going to tuck and roll, I guess. You know what I mean? But, you know, I feel like there was a point at which I felt really stuck in life and really held down by my own emotional outsourcing, which I'm sure we'll define in a moment. And I didn't see a way through. And I think that was a limitation where I didn't have any modeling of good communication, of truly doing what you wanted to in life, of not being codependent, of not living in profound resentment. You know, I just had my parents, right? Like the way so many of us do, as like the model of what a romantic relationship can be. And it wasn't looking cute. And I didn't realize that it could look different because I hadn't really seen it, right? So I'm an immigrant. We came to the US when I was a little kid. We escaped the dirty war in Argentina, and we didn't have friends. Like my parents didn't have friends. Like, so there weren't other couples around. There weren't people around. It was a very quiet little lonely existence. And so I didn't see healthy relating. And so I think that was an internal limit of not knowing, what connection that was honest and loving and truly kind versus very nice. My parents were very nice, but truly deeply kind. I didn't know what that could look like.
Yeah.
And that is in part like the work I did to leave a not great marriage and really rewrite myself was what led me even deeper into the work I'm doing, deeper into somatics, which started at Oberlin, right? With improv dance and like
Yep.
doing all that somatic exploration. We weren't calling it that then because, we're from the 90s, but it's what we were doing. And yeah, all that work to break through the limit of what healthy relating can look like really is what fast forward many years led to this book, which I'm sure is going to be an instant bestseller. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I think it needs to be.
I would agree.
So, yeah. Yeah. So all you listeners,
All you listeners.
there are several things that you said that like jumped out at me. One of the things, I think we'll talk more about this too, because that difference of kind versus nice and how we relate, like basically that is you can't have conflict.
Wait, what? You can't have what? No, I don't even know that.
Wait, right? Yeah,
what are you
exactly.
talking about? That's not a word. I gotta go, actually. It's been really nice talking to you. Be well. Good luck. Yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly. Conflict is dangerous. We don't do that. That's
lions.
Yes, definitely lions. Well, abandonment,
rejection,
right? All of that. And so I want to, I know we're going to get into that, but one of the things that you said when we're talking about limits, and this really relates to what you are describing, is the idea of, I'm just an empath. I heard somebody recently share about this experience that they had where they called something out. And I have been leaning a lot more into calling things out, even though it disrupts my nervous system.
Yeah.
And knowing that it's important, knowing that I need to use my voice, I need to use my privilege to say this is a problem. But so often we go to that label of, well, I am an empath.
Mm-hmm.
And looking over some of the things that you've written about and that you talk about when it comes to emotional outsourcing, I would love for you to describe like that relationship between empath and that label we put on ourselves and emotional outsourcing.
Yeah. So I'll start by defining emotional outsourcing. Yeah. So it is my umbrella term for our codependent, perfectionist, and people-pleasing habits. And I came up with this term because I didn't like the other terms, right? Again, we're nerds. Language matters. Words matter. Words are spells, right? And so codependent? Get out of here. I'm not codependent. I went to Oberlin. I am a strong feminist woman. I am an independent woman. I am not nothing.
Yeah.
Get out of here. But wait, is it okay that I said that? Are you mad at me, Valerie? Oh my God, are you mad at me that I said that? Right? That like
no, I'm not. It's okay. It's totally fine.
Are you sure?
No,
If you're mad at me, then I'll take it back. I'm so sorry I said that. I'm so sorry.
Can we shut down this conversation?
Right?
Yeah.
So doing every codependent thing, but hating the word, what happens then?
Yeah.
You don't get help. Because you can't get help for something you've completely eschewed. That's not my problem because I won't get help.
Yeah.
Right. And then you keep on living in the same old lousy patterns. So true with perfectionism, because I wasn't a perfectionist. I messed all kinds of things up. Do you know, I can't believe I'm going to admit this. I got a 96 on an exam once. Can you even imagine being that much of a failure?
Wow.
Well,
so bad.
Come on. Failure. Okay. And people pleaser, people are so upset with me all the time. So I couldn't possibly be a people pleaser. I mean, I'm working hard at it to keep everyone happy always. Right. But you see how we get into this morass of like, I'm not the thing. So I guess I'll keep being the painful, really challenging way I'm being. So I wrote out a Venn diagram like a nerd would do. And in the middle, I realized what we're doing in all three instances is outsourcing, frankly, our whole lives. They're outsourcing our sense of the three vital human needs. which are safety,
Mhm.
belonging, and worth. And we source them from everyone and everything outside of ourselves instead of from within at a great cost to self. And
Mhm.
that's the crux of it, right? Is the great cost to self. Because I love giving, I love caring, I love taking care of.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes. But I give from my overflow now. Talk
Mhm.
about a limit, huh? I give from my overflow. I give from my full cup. I give from energy I have to spare. And because I'm not flinging my energy around everywhere trying to make everyone love me, I have so much energy to spare that I can
Mhm.
take my friend's soup and drive them to the airport and be a loving member of my community and volunteer to translate,
Mhm.
right? Because I'm not leaking out everywhere subconsciously trying to manipulate everyone to like, love, and approve of me.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's how we define emotional outsourcing. Also as a way to move away from identity,
Mhm.
right? I am a codependent because I know we'll get into that a little more because that
Yes.
can just jump off a bridge. And as a way to begin to contextualize this in a very OB way within a sociopolitical reality.
Yes.
You asked me about empaths. Listen, are some people empaths? Sure. Are most people who are like, oh, I'm just like feeling everyone's feelings all the time and that's deeply impacting me? What they're really talking about is a lack of boundaries, of
Mhm.
limits, of a clear delineation of where you start and I stop, right?
Yes.
Which is the crux of emotional outsourcing. Because I don't have my own feelings, my own thoughts, my own choices unless you think they're okay. What do you think I should do? Do you like my shirt? Should I wear that? Should I go change? Right? Everything's about you. You create my life. And we do that because we don't trust ourselves, because we've been trained up to trust others instead of ourselves, and because we're so scared of making a wrong, very terrible, wrong, bad decision that if you make the decision and I hate it, I'm not to blame. Which is
Yeah.
really convenient because I'm constantly beating myself up. So if there's like one fewer thing to beat myself up about, great.
Mhm.
Right? So, yes, I believe we can feel others' feelings in a healthy, grounded, beautiful, interdependent way. And it is my experience having done this for a long time. I've already told y'all I'm from the 90s. When most people say I'm an empath, what they mean is I have very porous boundaries, no grounded, embodied, centered sense of self. And I just let everyone's energy flow into me and disrupt my internal systems instead of clearly knowing where I start and stop, and they do the same.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I love the breakdown: safety, belonging, worth, and the recognition of boundaries. This is one of the reasons why, I look at it like we want to take off the unconscious limits, but we still want to have limits
Correct.
because we're in a body and we can only hold so much, and we need to have ownership of our own self.
Yes.
And when we feel like our sense of self and our ability to be okay is external to us, I mean, usually that's rooted in a trauma response
Hmm.
of that
Hmm.
I feel unsafe. And so I need to monitor and pay attention to all of the things outside of myself in order to protect myself, to stay safe. And I have been doing so much unpacking of my own programming. I did a training with Resma Minikim a while back where he talked
Oh,
about the dynamics of white women
yeah.
gatekeepers and that sort of thing. And I realized that the patterns that I thought were ones that I got because I grew up in a home impacted by alcoholism. So it was all about protecting my dad's feelings so that he would not need to go drink, or he would not need to be
Uh-huh.
dysregulated, right? He
Uh-huh.
didn't learn the tools to regulate himself. So I needed to become the person to help regulate the environment so that he could be okay. And that was
Yeah.
a safety mechanism that I was conditioned to. But then I realized, oh, this is actually like system wide. This is rooted in patriarchy, and this is rooted in white supremacy, and all of these ways that we learn to be nice, to regulate externally so that we stay safe. But what that does is create that awful space of I don't have boundaries because I don't know who I am because my energy is so out here. And so when I do speak up and I do choose to disrupt the system, my nervous system gets all kinds of out of whack. And you've talked about this in, I think it was an Instagram that I watched of yours where you were saying something about like dysregulation isn't necessarily bad. You know, I talk about like taking things out of this binary and like, ooh, I shouldn't be dysregulated. I need to make sure that I'm always regulated. And like, but is that? So would you talk some about that aspect?
With endless joy because because capitalism is just doing the nervous system regulation and somatics what it does to everything else, which is try to make it like this palatable, bite-sized, super simple thing.
Another tool of the system. Let's appropriate this so that we can use it.
Yeah.
In this wellness industry.
Oh, yeah. I saw like somatic accounting sold to me on Instagram the other day. I was like, what the actual F are you talking about? So anyway, I think we could go down that pathway. Maybe next episode we'll do that.
Like I talk about word nerds, I'm going to go down. What does that word mean? What is that? What are we talking about here? Could we? I mean, that's why I have a podcast.
Right.
I wanted last couple episodes back, I did one on empathy and that whole binary of is empathy destroying the world? Is it what we need to heal the world? Well, actually, that's not even the right conversation because exactly what you just described when it comes to empathy.
Yeah.
So many layers of that. Anyway,
so many layers, so much nuance. So the question was why we don't need to be regulated all the time. Yeah. Hey, are you wearing pants? Did you get out of bed? Did you have food this morning? That's thanks to the cortisol awakening curve. So the cortisol awakening response happens about 30 minutes after you wake up because science. It's natural. Our cortisol should go up because you know who's also awake if the lights are on outside? You know, the big light in the sky, that big red one? Lions. Also tigers, also bears. Right? So if the sun's out, get up, get out of your cave, go light the fire, and be prepared to survive on the savannah of evolution one more day. We're supposed to have some sympathetic activation. It's the only way to get up in the morning. Try crossing the street in New York City without adrenaline, without sympathetic activation. Try it. Good luck. Bon chance to thee. I mean, Paris as well, right? Like we need sympathetic activation.
Well, and these days everywhere because everybody's on their phone.
Okay, well, there's also that. Fair. Yeah. But like, how about Gaza? How about Sudan? How about Congo? How about Flint, Michigan? How about DC under martial law? How about please have some sympathetic activation?
Yeah.
Please be pissed off. Please be angry. But listen, I want sympathetic activation.
Yeah.
And I want to spend a night, it's more and more frequent these days, sobbing my eyes out because people are being starved to death. Not just in one place, but in many. Right? And I want to be very dysregulated about that with the capacity to regulate. I'll say, yeah. So here's what happens when we don't have the skills and tools to work with our nervous system, work with ourselves somatically, when we're in emotional outsourcing and we're living by default and outside of intention, is that we're just moving and moving and moving and moving and moving. And something pisses us off. So we explode and then we freak out and then we throw a thing and then we are fine. But we didn't actually process the thing. We just keep moving and keep moving. Right. And so that's when we're dysregulated in the really scientifically dangerous way, meaning we have these chronic elevations in stress hormones that lead to actual harm to the vascular epithelium, to the lining of our blood cells. I mean, the data is very robust, and I'm not the first nerd to be out here being like, stress is bad. But, you know, it's a robust evidence base that says stress that you're not looking at in the snout.
Yes.
Because when I am sobbing my eyes out, I know why. And I know how to self-soothe when the feeling has moved all the way through my body. And that's the skill we need.
Yeah.
Is to be present to the emotion, not to regulate it away, unless you're driving on I-95 through New Bedford. Unless, you know what I mean? You're like coming off the loop and you've got to merge in Chicago. Please regulate yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Or you're trying to poop in peace and a toddler's like pulling your pants for the 400th just regulate yourself before you scream at someone, I don't know, 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
Right? So we regulate ourselves away from having our full emotion because we are kind and loving animals in a society.
Mm-hmm.
But it's about choicefulness. And when
Mm.
we're in the depths of emotional outsourcing, we are as far from agency and choicefulness as humanly possible. We're trying, as you said earlier, conflict. I never heard of her. No, I don't know what that is. No, I don't. No, everything's fine. I'm fine. It's totally fine. We're good. We're good. It's fine. It's fine. Are you good? Are you happy? You want me to make you a sandwich? You fine? Are you mad at me? You're mad at me. I'm sorry. What did I do? I'm sorry. Right? We're living in this chase of other people's approval, other people's safety. So, do we need to be regulated all the time? Absolutely not. That's robots.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I don't know, monotonous. That's not being a human. That's not the full breadth and depth of human life. We should get very angry and very sad and profoundly joyful,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, my cat will go through all of those emotions in like 6 minutes, right?
Yes. I have an orange one, so it's like, I love you. I love you. Ah, stop it.
I've got the one brain cell. And I love the orange so much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
they
great.
really are.
They're great. So a lot of the listeners have heard me talk about like some of the things that go into, okay, well, we need both. And stepping into, as I just mentioned, stepping into those spaces of it's time to start speaking up. It's okay. This is a habit that we have, that the nervous system, we're pushing past a boundary that we learned a long time ago. And there's going to be some dysregulation there because it feels unsafe, because our system has learned this is unsafe to speak up and to be kind. And then I also just had this conversation talking about I engage conflict out of love.
Yes.
Right? I show up to this. I'm willing to show up to conflict because I care. And maybe it's I care about you. And so I'm willing to show up to the discomfort of this conflict, the tension of this conflict because I care about you. And I am willing to show up to the PTA meeting where I need to call out some behavior that's harmful to people who are in this school, that is because I love the school, because I love the people, because I care. And doing that from this place of love versus this place of just anger and all of the things that are fueling the systems that we're in right now. And I wonder, when I think about showing up out of care, some of that is also I have to let go of the outcome. Right? I have to let go of how you receive this. Like, I'm going to show up to you with love, and you might not ever want to talk to me again. And boy, is that upsetting. Boy, does that hurt. Boy, does that hit. Like, all of the reasons why I just want to be nice and I don't want to be kind and show up with love. And we need tools to be able to process what happens. And the thing that we're afraid of, that abandonment, right? We're wired for belonging. That abandonment could happen.
Right.
And what are we more attached to? What do you offer in terms of, maybe it's a process or a check-in or a way to be with oneself in those instances where we want to show up, and everything both from way back when we learned these things, that this is dangerous, to now when I don't want to lose this friendship, or I don't want to get the retaliation that I might face from the school system, or, showing up to, all right, how do I deal with me first? Because I need, what I'm hearing you say is that I need to deal with the me part to be able to do those things. I need to have that intentionality and that regulation within myself.
Yes.
Or at least awareness that, okay, I'm going to get dysregulated right now. So like, here we are. I'm dysregulated already. And I'm going to lean into that. And I'm not just going to soothe it away and try and make it, like put the Band-Aid on. I'm going to address the gangrene.
Right. And so those are, in their way, separate processes towards the same end. And I also, before it leaves my mind, I want to, you talked about addressing the friend, even though you might lose the friend. And the phrase that came to me is in Spanish, mejor sola que mal acompañada, better alone than poorly accompanied. right? Like better than being in bad company. And man, that one's done me some good to remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. And trusting that even if they're not there right now, that maybe they'll take that and learn. I've had to take some really unpleasant tasting medicine and go sit with it for a while before I could come back to a relationship and go, okay, I digested what you needed to give me, and thank you for that. And now I'm ready to move forward with you.
Right. But that therein, you're modeling for all of us the process of being in relational regulation, right? To be able to say like, oh, okay, I'm feeling myself get a little activated. What you said really, like my initial feeling is like, ouch, that really hurts. And I have enough presence and embodiment and I'm at home within myself enough that I don't have to make it about me, but I recognize it's for me, right? There's a little nuance there,
Yeah.
right? That it's not an
Yeah.
attack upon me, but it's to help me, should I choose it. And to then regulate yourself to say, like, I'm not going to swipe at my friend who comes to me with love and care. And so then I can go away and have my big anger or have my big sad, like have the big cry, have them both at the same time, and then come back to them in that regulated way. Like you just modeled something really potent that I think a lot of folks that are deep in emotional outsourcing have no access to. And so to those with no access, I will say, we need to learn somatic practices to ground and regulate ourselves. And we need to practice them when we're not in the boiling water, when we're not, going home to visit our parent with substance use, when we're not confronting anything, when things are super copacetic and super chill, like when you're in a nice warm shower, right? And your family's taken care of, all you're thinking about is your conditioner. That's when I want you to practice somatic practices, right? Like really.
Okay. Can you give us an example of one of them?
For sure. And so I'll say that, so my process is the brave process. B, body first. R, recognize your outsourcing. A, ask what you want. V, voice self-loyalty. And E, encourage yourself. So we start with body first. I love thought work. I love a sort of CBT framework where, the Stoics, we look at our thinking, we ask ourselves if I like my way of thinking, we work with our mindset. Phenomenal.
All the nerdiness.
And it keeps us living from the neck up, which can only take us so far because our minds are also the place of our socialization and conditioning under the patriarchy, white settler colonialism, and late stage capitalism, in addition to our family of origins and all their survival skills. Right? So some wild percent of our thoughts they're not really yours. Right? You heard your dad say them. You heard your uncle say them. You heard a teacher or
the TV show or whatever.
And so they got imprinted, right? And implanted. And the thoughts you keep thinking are the thoughts you have on repeat, and they become your identity until you can drop into the body. Because through the body, we can find other narratives. We can find other ways of being. We can find wisdom and our own truth beyond our habitual thoughts. Because our habitual thoughts will keep us in a habitual posture towards life and a habitual nervous system state in relationship to life, right? You put dinner down and someone makes like a little face, your habitual nervous system reaction, and then thought is sympathetic activation. Thought, they don't like it. They don't like me. I've failed. I'm a terrible mom. Oh my God, I'm the worst. Everyone's going to know I'm terrible. I'm going to die cold and alone on a mountaintop. So in coming to the body and taking a different posture towards it, right? Different grounding. Hey, I see you made a face when I put dinner down. What's that about? Oh, nothing. I just, I'm 4, and so I don't like things that are red this week. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. And not the spiral towards your own lonely doom, right?
Yes.
So body first. The invitation is to come into the body, and we'll always caveat for those of us for whom the body was the site of trauma, it might not be a great idea. And if that's you, and if you're like, nah, girl, I'm not into the body, forget about you. just stay on the border of the body. So when others might do a body scan, maybe you get present to where your skin meets the air. And the only energy going into the body is with your direct say-so. So how do we come into the body? We do two vital things. And if this is the only thing anyone takes from this whole conversation, I die happy. Orienting. So we do an orienting anchor scan. So the nervous system, when activated, when dysregulated, time travels. So it's not in the here and now with us here and now. It's in the past when the scary thing happened, or ruminating towards the future when the scary thing might happen. And so in order to help ground the nervous system, regulate the nervous system, we need to remind it of when we are. Yes, who we are, but when we are. And we do that quite simply by looking around. And I know it sounds banal. It's like too easy to work, but try it when you're freaking out, but it works. So we literally just look around and take in your environment. We have senses for a reason. And so we can use them, right? What do you see? Literally name it. Door, trampoline. I love my trampoline. Painting, lamp, book, cat. What do you see? What do you smell? What do you taste? And the more towards punching someone in the snout you are, the more senses I'm going to invite you to bring on board, right? What does your arm feel like? What does your shirt feel like? What does your hair feel like? Smell your hair. Ooh, that smells like my nice conditioner. I just got a new conditioner. I'm pretty obsessed. Really engage your senses. Then find your feet and find the floor. So when we can connect in with the earth, we can remember that we're held. We can remember we're not alone, right? We can remember that we're these tiny, beautiful things on this earth and that we are always in community, whether we feel like it or not.
Yeah. One of my teachers, Kai, said that our first and most stable attachment is to the earth.
Yeah. And I think before colonialism and capitalism, it was for all of us, right?
Yeah. Well, it's returning to that.
Yeah.
So like that's, remembering, oh, this is
my true home.
This is the place. Say it's one of the problems is that how disconnected we are. But
right.
Anyway, that's from that. And so tapping into your feet and the earth.
Yes. And next we recognize when we're outsourcing. And this is not, I didn't say calling ourselves out. I didn't say catch ourselves. I don't like carceral language. Nobody needs another cop.
Yeah.
Right? We notice, and we notice gently. So the way to prepare ourselves for this is to make a list of your emotional outsourcing habits and to make it ahead of time. When I say something slightly vulnerable, I tend to watch everyone's face to see if I'm okay. Write it down. When there's a big decision to make, or any tiny decision, where to go for dinner, that I need to make for more than just myself, I outsource it because I don't want to disappoint anyone because I'm scared rejection trail, right? From the banal to the deepest things, write down what you tend to do in a perfectionist, codependent, people-pleasing habit set. We're going to treat this as information, not something that's wrong with you. My hair is brown. I tend to be a perfectionist in this way. I wear a size 10 shoe. I tend to be a people pleaser in this way. Neutral facts, because they're survival skills, right? And so we're never here to judge them. And the clearer you can get on them ahead of time, the more you can recognize them. Like birders know what they're looking for. They know who's in Central Park this time of year. They don't just go out and go, well, let's see what, Like, you know what you're looking for. Know the patterns.
Yeah. Know the patterns. And they're there because there's a reason that they were there at some point. They made sense.
Yeah, frankly, because you're friggin' brilliant.
Yeah. How badass that you did that.
Right.
Like that you learned how to survive. Wow.
So good. Next, once you've noticed, oh, I'm doing the thing, I want to invite you to get like a little like, like, where's Waldo? When you're the first kid to find Waldo and you're like, oh, man, 10 points to me. Goes in my permanent record. Like that. Like, ooh, I noticed the thing. A, of brave, what do I actually want? Not what they want, not what'll keep you out of trouble, not what keep people from having feelings. What do you want? Now, 9.974% out of 10 people are going to say, I don't know.
I was about to say, the I don't know, I feel like is another pattern that's like, oh, hey, there's something else there.
Yeah. So we have two things to say to this. We ask to ask. We do not ask because we want an answer. How's that for flipping that paradigm? We ask so that our mind, body, spirit hears us asking and knows that, oh, that mammal cares enough about me. Exactly.
It's like opening the door.
Right? We ask just to ask. You don't get an answer? Who cares? You didn't have an answer anyway. So what'd you lose? But you heard yourself matter enough to you to ask.
Yes.
Once you're comfortable with that, I'll invite you, when you hear, I don't know, here's your retort. Okay, brain, you don't know. But if you did know, what would you want? It is some coaching jujitsu. I don't know how it is that it works every time, but it's masterful. I do it to my clients. I do it to my wife. I do it to myself. But if you did, I know you don't know, honey pie. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But if you did know, and then my brain's like, oh, potatoes. Yeah, obviously. But the brain that 2 seconds ago was like, oh my God, I could never choose. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wild.
Well, that's the protector part.
Yeah.
It's a different part of yourself that's like activating. It's like, I got to protect you from saying the wrong thing. And then, you just kind of like, okay, thanks for, protection. And if you did, it's magical. It's so good. And then you voice a small act of self-loyalty. And the operative word here is small, tiny. So in my world, I think that baby steps are a ridiculous ask. That's like 2.5, 3 inches. That's a too big ask. Yeah.
In my world, we take kitten steps.
Yeah.
Newborn, itty bitty baby kitten steps, hypoallergenic. Don't worry about it.
Not like inchworm.
Yeah, it's like inchworm steps, like the teeniest, freaking tiniest, tinier. And I hear everyone setting their goals and I'm like, tinier. So why do we do this? If we live with this profound fear of failure and not getting it right and everything being terrible, what do? We say, you know what? I haven't exercised since the presidential fitness test in the 80s. I'm going to run the New York City Marathon tomorrow. That's tomorrow. Great. Yeah, that's going to work out well for my hammies, right? Like we go from zero to hero, but we don't get to where we want to go because we fall on our snout 2 steps in.
Mm-hmm.
So I encourage us to create self-loyalty and self-trust by making the wins inevitable. If you want to go to the gym, if you want to start exercising this week, you're going to consider what running shoes you might buy. That's it. So then when you win at that, you get a little dopamine, you get a little oxytocin, you get high on your own supply in the best way, and it'll motivate you towards doing the next thing that's on your path to whatever it is you most want, but kitten step size. So in an example of emotional outsourcing, let's say you're at that PTA meeting and you were asked to make cupcakes again, and you got to make the gluten-free and the dairy-free and the free. And your old habit is to go, absolutely, through gritted teeth. Sure, yeah, I can do that. Well, meanwhile, inside, you're like, I would rather chew glass. Like, no, thank you. So the baby step is to say, no, thank you. Don't even try it. My kitten step, let me get back to you. Then what's the tiniest thing? Don't try to say no to someone's face. Don't do that. Don't do that, because then you're going to feel guilty and you're going to fold like an origami swan. And then what was the point? There was no point. Let me get back to you, right? Do the tiniest little thing. That's how you start becoming your own safe place. And then E in brave is for encourage yourself like you would a best friend. And when I tell you that in this household and in my coaching world, we celebrate the tiniest things and we do all day long. Right? So baby in our Where's Waldo game. Oh, I noticed. Have a friend that you text. Have a victories journal. Right? And really cheer yourself on. Shine yourself up. Why not?
Yeah.
Right? Why not? And I hear the why not is because so many of us socialize as women. We're taught that that's selfish, to be humble. Right? I can hear all the Catholicism coming in. Right? I can hear all the many a sect will tell a woman to be smaller and smaller and smaller. And I hear that. And I'll simply invite you to ask, do I really want to live that way?
Mm-hmm.
Do I really want to live that way? Is that what I want for my, as far as we know, one human life? Or do I maybe want to do this differently, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And then when your brain speaks out, oh, it's wrong and it's bad. Okay, who's it going to hurt?
Mm-hmm.
But like really make your brain answer it. Oh, well, I was just taught. That's not an answer,
Yeah.
right? Push the rhetoric to its edges.
Yeah.
Women should be, oh, okay, sure. Why?
Yeah.
Right? And just see where you can get to. And most of my clients get to, oh, forget about it. I'd rather feel good about myself. Because also then, if we're going to stay in the same sort of morality clause, you are kinder to customer service and to waitresses and to receptionists and to your own family. So if our central tenet is kindness, start with you. It ripples out, you know?
Truly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. That is
So
so
be brave.
Be brave. I love that breakdown. And I have a cheat sheet that I give to people that is like things to say, basically. And you
Oh,
can like put it
ooh.
on your phone where it's just like, let me get back to you. Basically, it's like helping that art of the pause.
Yes.
So it, like where it's really hard. We feel like we have to urgency. You got to respond right away. You got to do the thing right away. It's no, you don't.
No, you
I
don't.
even say like if you are super activated and you don't know what to do, I got to use the bathroom.
Yes. I love the loo.
Right?
Yes.
Go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
It's totally
Yeah.
like if you have nothing else, like you don't feel comfortable saying, let me get back to you, or I'm not sure, I got to think about it. Let me check my calendar. Let me, whatever. Go to
Gotta go to
the
the bathroom. And then when you get to the bathroom, count your fingers. This is a super applicable one. So when our amygdala, the fear center, big emotion center in the brain, and the reptile brain and the limbic system's turned on, it's black or white. It's binary.
Yeah.
Cat, that's a tabby cat. That's a lion. That's a stick in the grass. It's a cobra. Like doom is imminent and it's up to you to save the village kind of thing. And so it's going to rev us up. We're going to buy into other people's urgency. It'll become our emergency. You brilliantly go to the loo. Once there, if you're too fast, you got to show your body slow. If you're too slow, you got to show your body fast, but gently. So you're revving, you're racing, you're anxious. Oh my God, what did she say that mean thing? Did I hear what there was? Take your thumb and tap your first finger, your pointer finger, and slowly, like annoyingly slowly, say 1. New York finger and say 2. Ring finger and say 3. Pinky and say 4. And then you're going to come back. 4, 3, 2, 1. But so slow that you want to like reach through your podcast app and strangle me. That's fine. I'm available for it. And then if you're like, you're in conflict and you kind of just check out. Wait, what? Sorry, were you yelling at me? I went into dorsal shutdown and I froze and what?
Mm-hmm.
That, which can happen in a boardroom or a PTA with you anywhere. We're going to tap our fingers a little faster and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1 to start bringing a little adrenaline, right? Gentle adrenaline, right? To start bringing a little life force energy, a wee bit of chi, if you will, into the system, right? Bring that prana up, put whatever word you want on it. I couldn't care less, but bring that life force energy. Yeah?
Yeah.
To just rev you up. So that's one of like the easiest things. And in my experience, it's about a 3-year-old can easily do that. The counting is challenging, but the slow tap, like, okay, I hear you. You're really, really upset. Let's do finger taps first. And then they get so absorbed in it.
Yeah.
That the tantrum, it half melted. So that's a good tip for parents and caregivers too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck with it.
I love it.
Yeah. It's a good one. It's fun because it really works. I have a client who has her whole middle school room do it. So like if someone gets upset in the room, she has them all stand and all of them tap together.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Talk about co-regs. Yeah.
Co-regulation is so key.
Can you imagine being an upset 8-year-old and you're not sent to the corner or sent to the principal or sent to detention, but instead, I'm going to cry. Like 20-something other kids stand up and slowly count to support you. Oh, Valerie, I'm going to cry. How tender is that?
And we need that. We need that so badly.
Yeah. But it starts with us. It starts at home.
Yeah. There's so much. I have really enjoyed this conversation. We hit on so many things. I'm thrilled to read your book. Very, very exciting. Can't wait. And so soon.
So soon. Yeah, so soon. So it hits the shelf September 30th. You can pre-order now at my website, beatrizalbina.com/book. We've got all the major booksellers up, so you take your choice. And for folks who don't know, pre-orders really, really matter because it tells the publisher how many copies to literally print. Yeah. So if you're, I'm going to speak for both of us, someone who loves the library and is like, libraries are the heart of democracy, it actually helps get the book into libraries if it does better in pre-order because it helps the libraries to get bigger bulk orders. I just learned that yesterday, the bulk orders. And so what better reason to pre-order a book than to support your local library? That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, there will be a link in the show notes to your website and your Instagram.
Thank you.
And bookshop.
Yes.
.org. You have it on bookshop.org?
Of course.
Okay, cool. Because I stopped linking to Amazon. I only link to bookshop.org.
Yeah. Of course.
So that'll be in the book rack on Bookshop that I have for all the books that are recommended in this podcast. So definitely y'all go check it out. It is linked in the show notes. And thank you so much for joining me. And as we wrap up, I like to ask a couple questions. One is, what does it mean to you to be unlimited?
To live in interdependence instead of emotional outsourcing. So to live as an autonomous human who knows my own limits and boundaries in the best of ways and who lives with mutuality and reciprocity with everyone in my world.
Yeah. You know, as you said that, the thing that struck me to what you said earlier about stepping out of the idea of codependency as an identity, we often say, I'm codependent. Do we ever say I'm a interdependent? Like, I never hear anybody say I'm an interdependent.
No, but let's do it. Because that's an identity I can get with.
It is an identity, but like, we never say that. We say I'm independent or I am codependent.
Right.
But we don't say I am an interdependent.
Okay, we used to not, but yeah, we do now.
Yeah, we do now. We do now. So when you want to tap into that unlimited feeling, what song do you listen to?
I would say Gracias a la Vida, Mercedes Sosa, or Fito Páez, anything by Fito Páez. Argentine rock. I'm going to go to my roots because the stuff you like, you know.
Yeah.
The little kiddo stuff. Yeah, Fito Páez.
Is there a particular song?
Oh my God, everything. Oh, he did this tour last year where he played his most popular album from start to finish at Madison Square Garden. And I just sobbed. And I was looking around and everyone in the audience was standing up, pumping our fists, which is like an embarrassing Argentine thing we do when we get excited, and sobbing. Men, women, children, every ages and gender, everyone was sobbing. God, we love our national rock.
Yeah. There's a whole thing about like a whole album, right? That just is, but playlists say.
Listen, I'll
put a whole album.
No, I mean, that'd be a bit much.
But I will link to the whole album so that people can listen to it.
I do recommend it.
So it'll be there too. So y'all got to go check out the show notes. I know I always say that, but like, really?
Well, you put effort into them. People should go check it out.
I do. Oh my gosh. Can we talk? We're not going to talk about show notes.
Next time. We'll do a whole episode about show notes.
A whole episode about show notes.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much for joining me today. It has been such a pleasure.
Truly.
I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode as much as I did recording it. I really appreciate that you are here. And just a reminder that if you have any insights that you'd like to share, any appreciations, any questions, or any topics you would like me to engage on this podcast, there is a new link in the show notes to record a short voice memo to me. It's super easy. You click the link, a little thing pops up, and you click on the microphone and you record a little message. That goes to me. You can send it anonymously if you want, or you can put in your email if you would like a direct response from me. I love, love, love to hear from you. And if you are looking for support to engage any of these dynamics in your life, please reach out. I offer a free exploration call, and I am more than happy to chat with you. No pressure. We find if it's a good fit to work together, what that might look like. That would be a best fit for what you're looking for, your goals, your finances, all that fun stuff. And then we go from there. So thank you again so much for listening. Go check out Bea's book, and I will talk to you all next time.